Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to another video. Now, yesterday I uploaded a video, I actually uploaded two videos that were both in 60 frames per second. And a couple of the comments were very obvious that people didn't really understand the big deal about 60 frames per second. And, you know, in this video I am doing a little bit of a comparison between 30 frames per second, which was the old school sort of way of watching videos, and then 60 FPS on the other side, which is double the amount of frames per second that the actual video file gives to you to view. Now, normally I saw a comment of someone saying, well, the human eye can only see 24 frames, blah blah blah. That is actually not completely true. Basically what happens is that from 24 frames onwards, we will perceive images as smooth, but we do see a pretty big difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second. Now, obviously this is an example of a StarCraft 2 game, and for whatever reason, the thing actually kept going out of sync. I don't really know exactly how that works, but the replay system sometimes lags a little bit, and somehow, some way, I ended up with a couple different seconds of footage. But I tried syncing it to the best of my abilities, and this should give you a pretty clear comparison between the two. In my opinion, I personally really love watching video in 60 frames per second when it comes to games, okay? Movies and whatnot are great, in 24 frames per second, I don't really mind them. I mean, I saw The Hobbit in 48 frames a second, which was kind of weird. But, you know, movies, we're just so used to seeing 24 frames a second that is not really a big deal. However, I would say with games, because most monitors will be running 60 Hz, you will really notice a pretty big difference between 30 frames per second and 60 FPS, because 60 FPS will look like how the game will look like when you play it yourself. So usually, you know, when you play a game yourself, you will be playing at, you know, at least like 30 FPS, probably a bunch higher if you have a pretty good computer, and it will just be a lot smoother on the eye. So I'm very curious what you guys think of it. Please note, however, that you can only really watch this at 60 FPS on the highest graphic settings. So if I'm not mistaken, that is 720p and 1080p. And also on top of that, you also need to be either in a Chrome browser with the latest updates or the newest Internet Explorer browser, whatever that is. I've never really used Internet Explorer for, you know, a couple of reasons, but it worked fine yesterday for me. I saw a lot of people saying that it worked for them as well. Now keep in mind that the video might take a little bit longer to load, and it might also be a little bit more stressful on your computer. So if you are indeed running an older computer, you can't really watch the difference that closely. There's a pretty big, you know, pretty big chance that that is exactly the case right there. Other than that, if you want me to keep on producing more and more 60 frames per second videos, please let me know right below that like button in the comment section below, because it does take a significantly longer time for rendering and whatnot. But I personally think it's worth it. Let me know what you think, and other than that, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day, do not forget to smile, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!